Clear out the room, I'm coming through, they wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill, I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it, I'm today's trending topic.
YouTube, what is good, man? Today we are going to be doing a 360 wave cut with a high taper. And when cutting down waves, I always start in the crown area because that is where the waves kind of originate from, if I'm using the right word here. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping the crown area pretty dark. I don't want to patch them in any way, shape, or form. And I want to follow the wave pattern that he has set in. So I'm going in with my 1.5 and I'm just going with the grain in the direction of his wave pattern. And as I'm taking on the top, I'm staying real patient. A lot of times we like to get to the top as fast as possible, but for a waver, this is probably the most important part of the cut, is their waves, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're keeping the wave pattern that they put all that work in for. So I'm just going over the hair, making sure that it's all nice and even. And then I want to go ahead and brush it all back down, you know, getting those waves nice and laid. And now we're going to get into the high taper. So for the high taper, I'm going to start at the top of his arch and then go to the bottom of his ear. And that's going to be my starting point for this high taper. So I'm just setting in that first bald line. I'm going to bald out everything under it with my trimmer. And now to get it a little bit closer to the skin, I'm going to come in with my shaver. And this is just going to add another layer to that blend and add some longevity to the haircut. And now to get into the next step, I'm going to come in with my clipper all the way open. And I'm going up about a thumb's width here. I would say about a full inch. And I'm just setting in that first guideline. And to start getting rid of that line in between the bald and the clipper open, I'm going to come in with my lever closed. And as I move up in that guideline, I'll go ahead and open up my lever. And right after that, I'm going to come in with my one guard all the way open. Again, going up about a full inch here. And you want to make sure, especially with a waver or any curly hair texture, you want to make sure that you're brushing the hair after every pass of the clipper, because you want to make sure that those guidelines are nice and even. And now right above that one guard open, I'm going to come in with my two guard all the way open. And I'm not really establishing a guideline here, I'm just trying to blend into the waves as best as possible. And now I went ahead and closed up that lever just a little, and we're going to blend down here. So this right here is my 1.5 guard all the way open. And now I'm going to go ahead and close it back up. And now to go ahead and blend into the waves a little bit better, I'm going with the grain with that 1.5 just to go ahead and smooth everything out. And now to go ahead and get rid of that last guideline, I'm going to come in with my half guard all the way open. And then I'll gradually close that lever until that line is completely blended out. And as you can see, we pretty much got through all the steps and the high taper is done. So now it's just a matter of detailing and really fine tuning that blend. So I'm continuing to go in with my half guard, opening and closing that lever. Just try to get into those dark areas and smooth this blend out to make it look a little bit more consistent and clean. And now I'm coming in with that one guard once again. And I'm just looking for those dark areas, tapping at them. And you'll see me use a lot of the corner of the blade, and that's so I don't create any more lines, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to, you know, get this blend looking real smooth. And now I went ahead and grabbed my two guard once again to go ahead and blend into the top a little bit better, especially right behind his ear. I saw it, you know, a little dark area, and it can get difficult when you know, doing blends into waves, and that's because the hair is so laid down that you have to go over it multiple times to you know, get it to feed through the hair. And now we're gonna go ahead and go to the other side, and we're gonna do the same exact steps. We're gonna start at the top of the arch and then make our bald line to the bottom of his ear. And we're gonna go ahead and just bald it out. And then we're gonna follow it up with the shaver just to get it a little closer to the skin. And then once again, we're gonna come in with our clipper all the way open. And we're just making sure that these guidelines are real clean, real consistent. And now I'm coming in with my clipper closed, and I'm just tapping at that line in between the bald and the open. And then I'll gradually start to open that lever as we get towards the top of that guideline. And then I'm going to follow it up with that one guard once again, going up about the same distance. And you'll see that I'm brushing his hair a lot, and that's because I want to make sure that it's laying down in its natural position, because he is going to be brushing his hair all the time. So I want to make sure that I'm getting every hair possible to make this blend look super clean. So I'm going over the guideline multiple times, and now I'm going to follow that up with my 2 guard all the way open. And I'm just coming off the shape of his head here. I'm not trying to dig into his hair and create another guideline. So I'm just coming in with that 2 guard. And then I'm going to come in with my 1.5 all the way open. And then I'll gradually go ahead and close that lever as we blend down. And I went ahead and grabbed my comb in place of the brush, because I feel like the comb just lifts the hair off the scalp a little bit more than the brush does, and allows me to get the clipper to feed through the hair a little bit better, since the brush just lays the hair down. So that's why I grabbed my comb here. And now to get rid of that last line, I'm going to come in with my 1/2 guard all the way open. And then I'm going to go ahead and gradually start to close that lever as needed. And you'll see right here that I came back to my 1 guard once again, and I'm just trying to attack some dark spots that I see in the taper. Really using those corners to get into those dark areas so I don't create any more lines. And then I'm coming in with my 1.5, and I'm detailing some more. And you can see already how this taper just looked that much better just from that slight detail that we put in there. And now I'm using the corner of my clipper with no guard, and I'm just hitting the bottom of it. And now to get into the back, I didn't get the part where I established my bald line, but right here I just did the bald line, clipper open. And with this hair texture, there really wasn't a line between the bald and the clipper open, so I just went ahead and cleaned that up a little bit. And now I'm going to come in with my 1 guard all the way open, just like we did on the sides. And as you can see, as I'm setting in these guidelines, his neck hair grows in every which direction, and that's because he has a cowlick on the back of his neck. So you'll see me cut sideways to make sure that I'm going against the grain. And then as well, I'm continually brushing. So this taper in the back of his head is going to give me some trouble, but I'm going to show you guys how to overcome that. So right between that 1 guard open and that clipper open, I went ahead and closed the 1 guard a little bit, trying to lighten up that line. And you can see how in the corner of his nape, it just kind of swirls right there. But we're just going to go ahead and attack that. And now right above that 1 guard open, I'm coming in with my 2 guard open. And this should blend right into the waves on the side. And I went ahead and closed it up to go ahead and lighten it up just a little bit. And now right under that 2 guard, I'm gonna come in with my 1.5, and I didn't go open, I just went straight into closed because I want to go ahead and get rid of that line. So I'm going sideways right here, trying to cut against the grain so I get the nice even cut. So we're just paying extra attention to detail back here because not every canvas is perfect. Everyone's head shape is different. It has different challenges, so we're just rolling with the punches here, trying to figure out what works to get this taper as clean as possible. And now I'm going with the grain with my 1 guard. And now we're gonna attack this dark spot that I see right here with that 1 guard, using the corner of the blade all the way open. And we're just trying to work this line out. And now I'm coming in with my 2 guard right here. And we're just putting in work, right? We're seeing what works and what doesn't, and we're just rolling with the punches, trying to get this taper as clean as we possibly can get it. And you can already see just from putting in that detail, this taper is really starting to come together. And now to go ahead and get rid of that last line where his hair kind of swirls right there, I'm coming in with my 1/2 guard. And you're gonna see me go sideways, go upwards, just trying to get that line as blended out as we can possibly get it. I'm using the corner of the blade right here. And you can already see it's really starting to come together now. But we're still just going ahead and detailing it. And now we're gonna go ahead and line up his nape area. So when lining up the nape area, I always like to start at the top of the ear, and that prevents me from taking this area up too high. So I always start at the top of the ear and then I work my way down. So we're staying real consistent here, making sure that we're not, digging into the hair too much. We want to keep it as natural as possible. And this line is really going to show you how clean that taper is, and it's going to show you the areas that you need to go back and detail. You can see as soon as we put the line on that joint, the taper looks super clean, and we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I already did the top on this side, I just didn't get it recorded, and then I went to the bottom and then connected the two. And that taper is looking super clean. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into the front lineup. Now with this front lineup, I'm gonna go ahead and start in the middle and then move towards the left side of his head. And we're staying real confident here, especially with being in the front of the head. I know at times it can be, kind of discouraging because you're looking at the client from front view, but you want to make sure that you're attacking the hairline with confidence. And then we're going to go ahead and move towards the left corner, keeping it as natural as possible, because as you can see, his corner is naturally lighter there, so I want to make sure that I'm not digging into it too much. And then I'm going to go ahead and line up his box area. Clean up that corner just a little bit more. And now we're going to go ahead and move towards the right side of his head, and we're just going to make sure that the lineup is as straight as we can possibly get it, while keeping it as naturally, while keeping it natural as well. You feel what I'm saying? Not digging into that recession area, because you want to make sure that you're not giving him that U look of a hairline when you look at him from the front view. And right here, I'm just doing trimmer over comb because I see some dark spots along his lineup area. And now to go ahead and fill in those lighter areas on his hairline, we're going to use some semi-permanent hair color in my air compressor. And you want to make sure that you're keeping it as natural looking as possible. You don't want to make it look painted on. So I'm spraying, pulling the card away, seeing if I need to add a little bit more. And you can see how it already takes the haircut to a whole nother level. And now we're going to go ahead and attack his hairline with the razor to make sure that we get this hairline as crisp and as clean as possible. And as well, make sure that it lasts as long as possible too. So you want to make sure you're stretching the skin so you don't cut them. And it just takes that hairline to a whole nother level. And now to give the haircut a more polished and finished look, we're going to go ahead and spray some oil sheen. and I'm gonna go ahead and brush it in. I'm using the back of the brush here because I want to lay the hair down a little bit better. But family, my man came in looking super rough. He needed a haircut, so we went ahead and took it down to 1.5 with a high taper. Family, if you watch this video, I really appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow me at Drake Clipper Hands on IG, where I have a lot more dope content for you guys. But again, thank you for watching this video. I will catch you guys next time.